On today's episode, I'm going to show you how I built a waterproof fuse panel box for my go-kart out of an ammo crate. Alright, so first off, excuse my messy ass workbench. It's gross. I've been building a go-kart here and somewhere else, and I haven't gotten back to clean the shop up. I really should, but I apologize. Okay, so anyway, this is just your regular $12 waterproof ammo crate. It's got your locking mechanism over here. I am going to mount this to the rack on the back of my go-kart, the Yerf Dog. We'll figure that out. That remains to be seen how exactly I'm going to strap this down. But I am putting lights and stuff on it, and I imagine, I live in Florida, so there's moisture. I had these things laying around, so I figured I'd go ahead and give it a whirl. Let me show you what I did. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a fuse panel, right? A fusible panel. And I've already got this thing wired up here. This will be my hot, that's power, and this will be my ground. Got those. And then what I did was drilled holes that are the exact size of the wires to run out. So this will be my hot out. This will be my ground out. And I can run my first set of lights off of those, and they're fused to this right here. Now what will happen is my actual go-kart battery will sit inside this box, hopefully. I preemptively made this without actually fitting the battery like a dum-dum, but the battery will be here at some point today. Worst case scenario, this is just double-sided sticky tape mounted into that. I didn't drill that to put more holes in the box. And I have a bigger ammo box down here. So all I got to do is swap it out, drill 2 holes, and put it in the other ammo box if the battery doesn't fit in this one. However, I like this purple one. It matches the go-kart. So that's what I'm shooting for. I know this works. I've already powered it up with my little 12-volt tester. And the wires that run to the outside work perfectly. But I will hook a gauge here I have up. Just to show you that it does power up, and I'll show you what happens when it blows a fuse. There's LED lights underneath. It's messing up the camera. There's LED lights underneath that let you know when you've popped the fuse, and you'll be able to see all that inside the box, which again is waterproof. Okay, so you can see I've got my 12-volt tester source hooked up to the ground side. And then I got this side over here hooked up to the posi side, which means when I plug this harness in here that goes into the back of an Amazon gauge that I'm not currently using, that should light up. So let's see if we can get this on camera in one shot. Okay, so take 2. I didn't have they're loosely grounded to my little 12-volt tester thing, and apparently I didn't have the ground all the way down. So let's see if we can get this gauge lit up real quick. This should get it. Hey! That's upside down, don't matter. But yeah, so power from the box. It works, 12 volts. Just unhook it there. Alright, so we definitely have 12 volts. And now I'm going to show you what happens when you're running power to something like the gauge and your fuse pops. As you can see, the gauge is on, right? And all the fuses are working. I'm just running one gauge as a 15 amp fuse, so it shouldn't be a problem. But let me show you what happens when you pop a fuse. I'll pull that fuse out. The circuit board will think that the fuse is popped. They're not there. And you'll be able to see the LED light indicator light up to let you know you got a pop fuse, which is very handy.
Later.
As you can see, I pulled the fuse and the indicator light goes off. So if you're missing a fuse, obviously you'd be able to see that. But if your fuse is popped, you get the little light. And that is super handy. Instead of trying to trace down what electrical gremlins you might have, if you could just come over here and see that that light is on, the fuse is your problem. Fuse back in. Gauge back on. Alright guys, well that's been the overview. It's pretty simple. This thing was about $8, I think. the box was 12, so 20. I already had the wire and the, the terminals and stuff like that. But if you didn't, you could go to Harbor Freight or whatever, and for 30 bucks, you could build this box and then get yourself a battery. And you got yourself a waterproof box. And I'll show you. I'll unclip my 12-volt source here. All right, and we'll get rid of all this stuff that could shock the shit out of me. And then you imagine the battery goes in here. That's going to be your negative. That'll be your positive. And then you just close this bad boy down, lock her up, and it is waterproof. And then you just got your wires coming out of the back here. And you could do a whole row of those, as many as you needed. You could also go down to the bottom, because you can see, let me open this up one-handed again. On this particular fuse panel, they come in all kinds of sizes and stuff. Down there at the bottom, you've got 3 more terminals. So you've got 6 power terminals and 6 ground terminals. All your grounds are off to one side, and your power, I ran top to bottom simply because if I had turned this box, oh wait, no glare, the door closed, nice. If I had turned this panel sideways, the wires would have had to have been run out the side, and I know already which direction I'm mounting this box. It's going to be like this on the go-kart, so it made sense for me to run the wires out of the back, but maybe you'll have to do something different if you decide to do something like this. Anyway, I thought I'd give you guys what I thought was a pretty sweet idea. I know that my electronics aren't going to be wet, and stay tuned for an upcoming video. I'm waiting for the shipment to come. I've got some 3-way square halo running lights. We're going to run a switch and this box and those lights and some bar mounts, and we're going to get some lights on the go-kart that doesn't have a motor or a torque converter or a clutch or pedals or an engine, but lights. So content. This is cheap and easy and light work to do, as opposed to some of the other stuff I just mentioned, the motor, da-da-da-da-da. We're talking with the motor and the everything else I'm going to need for this thing, it's going to be up over $500. So doing little tinkery things like this is nice, because it just feels like you're getting something done. So get out there and get something done. It's the weekend. Build something like this, or show me what you're working with. If you're building a go-kart, tag me. I want to see what kind of ideas I can steal off your go-kart. But until then, I've been Ben. This is Cars and Coffee Kings, and this is the waterproof, I don't know why I'm blanking on this, too much weed, waterproof fuse panel box McGillicuddy. Alright guys, till next time, later taters.